What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you. Hope you're doing outstanding out there as we move into this Wednesday energy. And I just want to say I'm coming to you live from a bomb shelter in Huntington Beach, California. So stay safe out there. Be protected. Okay, enough of my nonsense. Let's get into the astrology. Sun is at 26 degrees of Pisces today, which is getting tighter to that sextile to Pluto that's building up. They're like really starting to build, which is some powerful transformative energy, especially around our compassion, around our ambition. I think using the sensitivities in life to go farther and to see how we can deprogram into more of a flow, more of a timelessness. Pisces is timelessness, and of course, even Mercury coming to 10 and 11 and 12 degrees of Pisces, which it will finish up at 12 degrees today. It's like we're in this more mature energy of losing our minds. No, I'm just kidding. But like having to really like surrender to the timelessness of our reality and to see where that can ultimately go without, I don't know, some things we can figure out, some things we can't. And that's part of like the seriousness of a sun making a net 8 is like, okay, let's just seriously flow. Let's dedicate to, I don't know, not dissolving by any means, but definitely like, okay, life is in a very interesting place right now. There's a lot going on. I think even when you look at your personal life, it's like, okay, there's definitely, it can feel like we're all going through a pretty crazy 12th house transit. Especially like, I know Aries rising, like they're really feeling this. But as a collective, it's kind of similar to that. The moon is in Virgo today, so it's definitely a reality check, but it's grounding in a sense too, so it's kind of like bringing things back to a little bit of a focus here. We are going to see the moon oppose Mercury, and Mercury is dispositing that moon in fall position, so I do think that this makes this opposition, even though it's quick today, it's not like, you know, that exact hit's only a couple hours, but it is sort of that energy of the day of trying to figure a lot out or wanting things to be perfect. And I think it's realizing that nothing's perfect, and like we want to take the little moments of perfection and cherish those moments and flow today and look at the bigger pictures as best we can without getting sucked into all the big pictures that are being shown to us, but more of like the big picture of your reality, your day-to-day life, your routines. And I think it's also a good moment here where we can start to see where the routine can change, where we can do little things differently that take stress off of our back, that kind of like release, the heaviness. Virgo's kind of heavy. So I think we're also trying to figure out how we can find the middle ground of like, okay, certain things need to come with me into the next chapter, into the next cycle, and certain things don't. I'm going to choose the most spiritually pure ones, and I'm really going to dedicate to those and transform my life through that. So that's some nice energy too. But we are also going to see the moon finish off the day with a trine over to Uranus. I think this brings definitely some like value, well, especially with Mercury, which is building up to that sextile over to Uranus. Like there's definitely insights out there. There's something that we're starting to pick up on, like the I guess the cold hard truth of the matter at hand in our life, and how to take our physical reality further. And I think that's where, Uranus is like, yeah, you gotta do it different. Like there's changes in the physical world that are gonna make you feel better. There's a change in value. There's a change in maybe self-confidence or the perception of yourself. So it's like knowing your worth to the highest level and making changes based on that. I think it can be helpful, but the moon's also going to quincunx over to Mars and Venus, and we are kind of building up to that full moon, which will be, what is that? Going to be Thursday night, Friday morning, but really Thursday night. So kind of, it's definitely heavy. It's like a lot of emotions are coming up to the surface right now. A lot of it is dealing with people. A lot of it's dealing with the connective forces. It's kind of like our frequency here is getting an upgrade. We are, of course, seeing Venus and Mercury pull off of their semi-sextile, but Venus is also really starting to square over to Uranus now too. So there's just different approaches to our self-worth and value right now, and I think that's where we can find some like good rebellious energy that actually does feel like kind of nurturing, kind of feels like it's taking, us to a better place, or the relationships to a better place. But it all comes through this moon in Virgo, which is like, it's kind of screaming that our reality needs a cleanup to have the transformation, to have the purification as it builds up to a full moon, which will be at 27 Virgo, and it'll be in trine to Pluto, and the sun will be in that sextile to Pluto as well. So, you know what I'm saying? There's transformation on the table. And I think it can be it doesn't have to be like clawing tooth and nail. It doesn't have to be like the hardest thing ever. It should really be more of a flow. And I think using sort of a dedicated approach to going with that flow, seeing where the universe wants to go today, and releasing the things that stress us out. Like, there's so many aspects of life that can be weighing on us in a stress factor. And it's like, do we really have to hold all that weight? Or can we connect to the beautiful things in different ways to kind of make the changes a little bit more seamless? I don't know. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. What's Jupiter at today? 17, almost to 18. So yeah, Jupiter's getting into that, 5-degree orb space with Neptune. And we're going to start to be feeling that Jupiter-Neptune a lot, which spiritually for individuals, I mean, this is definitely unlocking chambers in our brain, and especially like that right brain, that intuitive brain that we've never used before. And when it comes to, whether it's channeling or just seeing the connectedness of life as a whole and not being so separate from sort of source energy and all the sensitive feelings that make up our intuition and that make up the way we can be, compassionate for ourselves and others. So there's this like spiritual wisdom that's definitely in a special place, but of course out in the world it can look like a circus. So I don't know. I like the energy, but at the same time it's not like easy. It's definitely heavy. It's definitely like trying to come to terms that change is the only, constant in reality. And if we want to start things, we have to make changes. Or if we want to have more value, or if we want to have better relationships or better connections or better friends, that change, it has to come through a grounded sense of changing. And maybe, this moon in Virgo today and building up to this full moon is that sort of reality check that grounds us back in reality of the truth of the matter at hand, without, maybe trying to get so analytical and particular about it. And I think that's going to be the hard part with this full moon energy, is that Mercury disposits the moon in fall position. It's a little, it's kind of spacey, but you can find a lot of beautiful things in that spacey, intuitive, dreamy place. And I don't think we want to completely leave that at all, but, ground out a little bit, be present in life. What is this? Ace of Wands in reverse. Wow. Wowie wow wow. It's just like there's definitely something out there that has wow factor for us to move towards, but it's like we have to make a change to get there. We have to follow our heart. The minds definitely can be all over the place, going out to the farthest reaches of the universe, and that doesn't mean we're going to find what we're looking for. I think we want to get back to more of the immediate aspect of our life, and that's where the grounding's at, and that's where we can probably get more things figured out. Maybe realize that there is something very creative on the brink of starting. You have to have trust and faith that that's the truth. Two of Cups in reverse. I don't know. Maybe this Venus-Uranus square that's building up is sort of this, like really the shocking wow factor in itself when it comes to the people in our life, and if we're connecting to the right energy. And it might just be that we are, but I don't know. Might be hard times for relationships right now. That could be maybe a source of a lot of, kind of just feeling that from these cards and the astrology, but relationships might be a source of a lot of the weight that we're carrying from, maybe old systems or old programming that don't really match up with where your soul is actually flowing to right now. And justice. Time to get justice here. Justice will be served. This little girl looks really happy that she stole that, but can't be stealing the candy. I don't think it's about stealing justice. I think it's about letting that divine flow bring you justice and to not force things right now, but to definitely realize that change has to be made and the scales have to be evened out in life, especially with relationships. And I think creative endeavors or creative starts, like this might be that change that does spark something very, 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 very nice. So I hope that's the case for you. I appreciate you tuning in. Love you all very much. And I'll see you for Thursday's horoscope tomorrow. Much love. Peace.